But the weakened team kind of point is a bit of a moot point. I mean, the teams you've changed around and done so well this season. You look, case in point, it's the semi-final against Sheffield in the second leg.
Yeah, I think that's very important. I think there's players who need a game anyway. Darren Fletcher and Paul Scholes and Anderson, they'll all play. Berbatov, that Patrice Evra, Edwin van der Sar, they'll all play. These are certain players because they need a game. And then how we manage the rest, we'll have to wait and see.
Can you get your head around why people would say that if it's a weakened team, you should be fine, given you nominated a 25-man squad at the start of the season?
Well, I think that the only thing that you should be criticised if you lose a game and it affects other teams, then you should be put under scrutiny in terms of the team you picked. Because if you remember going back to the Hull game, we played all the young players in that game. We only had Gary Neville and Wes Brown as experienced players, and we won the game 1-0. So there was no reason to criticise the selection at that time. And in this occasion it will be the same again. We've got to make sure we win. If we go back to when we played West Ham, and Neil Warnock, for some reason, found it easy for it to criticise us. But if you watched the game that day, we battered West Ham. And we brought in Giggs, Scholes, and I think it was Ronaldo at half time in that game, or just after half time. So it was a bit unfair on Neil Warnock to do that at the time. All they needed was a draw, Sheffield United, that day, on their own ground. But so the criticism can only be valid if you lose a game, and hopefully we don't. We want to win it.
You mentioned Paul being involved. What do your instincts tell you about when this might be his last day on Old Trafford? Do you think it will be?
No, I don't think so. I think it's, it's hopefully that we've discussed it and I'm encouraging him to stay on another year. But we'll talk at the end of the season.
So Alex, I'm not so much with your players, but are you concerned about this kind of Twitter phenomenon? Darren started a Twitter account and people attacked him, so he came off when obviously had a problem in midweek. Do you get what comes up happening for criticism that
Well, it's responsibility. I think that they're responsible for their actions, responsible for what they say in their Twitter. I don't understand it, to be honest with you. I don't know why anybody could be bored with that kind of stuff. But, find the time to do that. Jesus God, there's a million things you can do in your life without that. So we're going to do in the library and read a book. Seriously, it's a waste of time. But it seems to have a certain momentum at the moment that everyone seems to want to do it. I don't understand it, but also I think we as a club are looking at it because there can be issues attached to it, and we don't want that.
What do you force for good though, so I can't say keeping players in touch with supporters? I think that's why it's so popular. Players like Rio have so many followers.
Better if you play well on the pitch.